At the very edge were the world, where the rainbow met the mountains, and the air smelled like honey and flowers. There was a valley that sparkled under the sun. Butterflies fluttered in every color you could dream of, and the grass felt softer than a pillow. In that valley lived a fairy named Ilaria, the brightest, kindest fairy in the world of fashion. Her golden hair shimmered like sunlight. Her eyes twinkled with joy, and her smile could melt the clouds. But the heels were passed down for thousands of years, from fairy to fairy, until they finally reached Ilaria. And just like the queen had hoped, Ilaria wore them with kindness. She never showed off, never looked down on anyone, and always helped others shine too. One morning, Ilaria's best friend, Leona, came running to her, crying. Her feet were bare, and her eyes were filled with fear. "Ilaria," she gasped, "my diamond heels are gone." Soon they learned that other fairies had also lost their treasures. Zara's sapphire necklace, Maya's
treasures
diamond gown,
locked inside
Tara's
shining
crystal
mirrors,
bracelets,
cold
all
blue
vanished
glow.
overnight. The older fairies whispered about a dark curse. Shadows roam the palace at night, they said. Whoever they touch will lose what they love most. Ilaria looked down at her own heels. They still sparkled, and she felt safe. But that night, something strange happened. Ilaria dreamed of a dark figure, a woman made of mist, who stepped into her room and whispered. Inside it said, "The curse steals the soul of the victim's treasure. On the first day, its light fades. On the second, it dies. On the third, the owner's heart turns to stone. On the seventh day, they become stone forever." Ilaria trembled. "My time is running out." But Leona held her hand bravely. "We can still stop it. The magic comes from the Valley of Mirrors. We must go there." The two friends journeyed through the whispering woods, past moonlit lakes and silver hills, until they reached the Valley of Mirrors. There, shadowy figures wandered among the glass-like trees. "Soon that light will also be mine." She woke up shaking. Her golden heels were still there, but their shine had faded a little, as if something had stolen part of their soul. The next day, a grand fairy fashion show, Ilaria stepped onto the runway, but the shoes did not sparkle.
It's okay, Leona.
The crowd gasped.
Whatever it is, we'll face it together.
"Magic is gone,"
You're not alone.
someone whispered. Ilaria ran back to her room and found a black serpent mark beneath her heels, a sign of a terrible curse. Ilaria and Leona rushed to the Celestial Library, a place filled with ancient books and glowing scrolls. After hours of searching, they found a dusty volume called The Ritual of the Stolen Soul. At the end of the valley stood a glittering palace made entirely of mirrors. Walls, doors, even the floor. It sparkled, but it felt cold. A tall woman with long black hair and ice blue eyes appeared at the gates. Her name was Nora. She smiled sweetly and said, "Welcome, Ilaria. I've been expecting you." Inside, the palace was full of treasures, dresses, jewels, and shoes locked behind the shining mirrors. Leona gasped, "Those are my diamond heels." Ilaria looked closer and saw everyone's missing treasures. Zara's necklace, Maya's gown, Tara's bracelets. Nora was the thief. Nora laughed, her voice echoing like glass breaking. All of this is mine, and soon your golden heels will be too. Without them, you are nothing. But Ilaria suddenly recognized her. Her eyes widened. You're Nora Silva. I wanted to shine too, but I was invisible. So I decided, if I can't shine, then no one will. Ilaria's heart softened. She stepped forward and said gently, "You can't steal light, Nora. You already have it, inside you. Real beauty doesn't come from jewels or shoes. It comes from kindness." Then, Ilaria did something no one expected. She took off her golden heels and stood barefoot. The moment her feet touched the floor, a bright light burst from her heart, warm, pure, and golden. The light spread across the palace, melting the shadows and freeing the stolen treasures. The mirrors shattered, and the fairies' magic returned to them. Nora screamed as her dark magic turned to smoke. She looked into the broken mirror. She saw herself, not a monster, but a lonely fairy who had forgotten how to love herself. She fell to her knees, crying. "I've lost everything." Ilaria gently held her hand. "No, Nora, you haven't lost your light. You just stopped believing in it." As Nora wept, a soft glow surrounded her, her true light returning at last. The Palace of Mirrors transformed into a hall of light. All the fairies, once trapped in darkness, were free again. They walked together on a runway of starlight, not competing, but shining as one. Ilaria's golden heels sparkled once more, but everyone now knew the real magic wasn't in the shoes. It was in kindness, courage, and love. And from that day on, the fairies of the valley never forgot the lesson. True light lives in the heart. Moral of the story: jealousy steals your shine, but kindness makes everyone glow. When you share your light, the world